Do you go to bed with a blood sugar of 110 and wake up staring at 148? You didn't eat anything. You didn't cheat. You didn't stay up late or have a stressful night. You slept 8 full hours. You did everything right. And still, that number. If that has ever happened to you, I need you to stop right now. Put down whatever you're doing. Because what I'm about to share with you is the one thing that most people with type 2 diabetes spend years without knowing. And honestly, most doctors never even bring it up in the exam room. Your morning blood sugar spike has a name. It has a cause. And here's the part that surprised even me when I first went deep into the research. It has a solution that's been sitting in your refrigerator this whole time. We are going to talk about 4 specific types of cheese, eaten at a very specific time, in a very specific way, that work while you sleep to address the exact hormonal process that's pushing your blood sugar up before you even open your eyes. And I have to tell you, by the time we reach the 4th cheese, you are going to understand something about what's happening inside your aging body at night that is going to completely change how you approach every single evening going forward. Because that 4th cheese, it addresses something that nearly every senior with diabetes is quietly experiencing right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. A silent, slow process happening in your muscles, tonight, that makes your blood sugar harder to manage every single year. And one small bedtime habit can begin to change that. Stay with me. This one matters. I promise you. I'm Dr. Susan Savelt, and if you're new here, welcome. This channel exists for one reason: to give seniors with diabetes the real science-backed answers that the healthcare system simply doesn't have time to give you in a 15-minute appointment. We don't do generic advice here. We don't talk to a 35-year-old body. We talk about what's actually happening in your body, at your age, with your biology. And we treat your intelligence with the respect it deserves. If that sounds like what you've been looking for, hit subscribe right now. It's free. It takes 2 seconds, and it means YouTube will keep sending you videos like this one every week. A lot of my regular viewers tell me it's the one health channel they actually look forward to. I hope this becomes that for you too. Quick note before we go further. Everything I share here is designed to work alongside your medical treatment, not replace it. Keep taking your medications. Keep your doctor appointments. What I give you today is the layer of understanding that fills in the gaps, the information that helps everything else make more sense. All right, let's get into it. What's actually happening while you sleep? You've been doing everything right. So why is your body doing this? I'm going to show you, because once you understand what's happening between midnight and 8 a.m., everything I share next will click into place immediately. I want to walk you through what's actually going on inside your body during those quiet hours when you're asleep. Because once you see this, truly see it, you'll understand why no amount of willpower or discipline fixes it, and you'll understand exactly why what I'm about to share does. Somewhere between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., your body starts preparing to wake up. It releases a wave of hormones: cortisol, adrenaline, growth hormone, glucagon. These hormones send a direct signal to your liver: release stored glucose. The body needs fuel to start the day. That's normal. That's how it's supposed to work. In a person without diabetes, the pancreas hears that signal and responds immediately. A clean, precise burst of insulin brings the glucose right back under control. They wake up with a perfectly normal number and never think twice about it. But in a senior with type 2 diabetes, 2 things go wrong at the same time. The insulin response is slower and weaker, and the liver, which is often already dealing with insulin resistance, releases more glucose than the body actually needs. So blood sugar climbs while you sleep. without a single bite of food. That is the dawn phenomenon, and it affects nearly half of all adults over 60 with type 2 diabetes. But here's the part I really need you to hear, because this is the part most doctors never get to explain. After the age of 60, the body begins losing muscle mass at a rate of 1 to 2% every single year. That condition has a name: sarcopenia. And what most people with diabetes are never told is this: muscle tissue is the primary place in your body where insulin drives glucose out of the bloodstream and into cells. Less muscle means less insulin sensitivity. Less insulin sensitivity means harder blood sugar control. Harder blood sugar control means more muscle breakdown, because elevated glucose accelerates muscle loss. It's a spiral. It begins quietly. And it happens mostly at night, because between midnight and 6 a.m. is when your body's peak window for muscle repair is open. But to do that repair work, your body needs a steady supply of amino acids in the bloodstream. If that supply runs dry, your body doesn't wait patiently. It starts breaking down existing muscle tissue for fuel instead. That is the window. The 4 cheeses I'm about to share with you are specifically designed to protect not just your blood sugar, your muscle, your metabolism, your long-term ability to stay well, all at once, while you sleep. Before I give you the 4 cheeses, I need to explain one concept that changes everything, because it explains exactly why cheese works at night when other protein sources simply don't. Give me 60 seconds. This is important. Dairy protein comes in 2 very different forms, and the difference between them is everything when it comes to nighttime blood sugar. Whey protein absorbs fast. Within 30 to 60 minutes, it's in your system. That's great after a workout. That's great at breakfast. But at night, fast-absorbing protein isn't what your body needs. Casein protein is completely different. When it hits your stomach, it forms a slow-releasing gel that delivers amino acids steadily for 5 to 7 hours. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming casein protein before sleep significantly increases overnight muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to repair and build muscle tissue while you rest. And this same muscle protein synthesis improves insulin sensitivity in those muscle cells the very next morning. In plain language, the right cheese before bed feeds your muscles through the night, keeps amino acids available so your body has no reason to break down muscle tissue, and creates a slow, steady metabolic activity that actually buffers your liver's glucose release during that dawn phenomenon window. These 4 cheeses aren't just low in carbohydrates, though they are. Their protein structure, their fat composition, and their specific nutrients are designed by nature to work best during the hours you are asleep. Let's go through them one by one. Cheese 1. Cottage cheese, the overnight muscle guardian. If I could only recommend one food for seniors with diabetes to eat before bed, this would be it. And I say that based on research, not personal preference. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition specifically tested cottage cheese as a pre-sleep protein and found that just 30 grams of protein from cottage cheese, eaten 30 minutes before sleep, measurably increased overnight muscle protein synthesis without disrupting fat metabolism or raising morning blood sugar. Here's what makes cottage cheese so extraordinary at night. It's approximately 80% casein protein. That slow-release structure means that from the moment you finish that last spoonful until 5 or 6 hours later, your body has a continuous stream of amino acids, including leucine, which is the specific amino acid that actually triggers the muscle repair process. Every single night you eat cottage cheese before bed, you are giving your body both the signal and the raw material to repair rather than break down. And every morning that follows, you wake up with slightly better insulin sensitivity in those protected muscle cells. Separate research published in the journal Nutrients found that pre-sleep protein consumption improved fasting glucose levels the following morning in adults with insulin resistance. The mechanism is exactly what we've been discussing. That steady overnight amino acid release creates a low-level metabolic activity that moderates what your liver does during the dawn phenomenon window. Nutritional profile per 100 grams, approximately 98 calories, 11 to 12 grams of protein, fewer than 4 grams of carbohydrate, virtually zero glycemic response. How and when? 4 to 6 tablespoons, about 100 to 120 grams, 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Eat it plain or alongside a small handful of walnuts. Walnuts add healthy fat that slows any minimal carbohydrate absorption, plus magnesium, a mineral that over 60% of seniors with diabetes are deficient in, and that plays a direct role in how well your insulin receptors actually function. One important caution: do not add fruit to your bedtime cottage cheese. Save fruit for morning. At night, you want this protein working in the cleanest metabolic environment possible. Carbohydrates interrupt the process. If this is already starting to feel like something you could actually do, that's the point. This isn't complicated. It isn't expensive. It's 4 tablespoons of cottage cheese before bed. Drop a cheese or heart emoji in the comments if you're going to try this tonight. I genuinely want to know. Cheese 2. Aged cheddar. The K2. Protector. Your arteries need. I know what you're thinking. Cheddar on a blood sugar video? Stay with me. What I'm about to share about aged cheddar is something that most cardiologists don't even discuss with their diabetic patients. And it matters enormously for seniors. Aged cheddar, specifically cheddar aged 12 months or longer, earns its place on this list for 2 reasons that are both specifically important for seniors, specifically at night, and for reasons that go far beyond what any other channel in this space is discussing. First, the aging process breaks down virtually all of the lactose in the original milk. This matters because a significant number of adults over 60 develop low-grade lactose sensitivity they may not even be fully aware of. And that low-grade sensitivity causes subtle, chronic inflammation that quietly feeds insulin resistance over time. Aged hard cheeses eliminate that risk entirely. Second, and this is the one I really want you to pay attention to, aged cheddar has one of the highest concentrations of vitamin K2, specifically the MK4 form, of any cheese you can find at a standard grocery store. And vitamin K2 has a remarkable and direct relationship with your pancreas. K2 activates a protein called osteocalcin, produced in bone tissue but with a direct role in the pancreas, specifically in regulating how your beta cells secrete insulin. A study published in Diabetes Care found that higher vitamin K2 intake is associated with up to a 19% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And separate research shows K2 improves insulin sensitivity in people who already have the condition. For seniors, this benefit doubles. Because the same K2 that supports insulin function also directs calcium into bones, where it belongs, instead of into artery walls. That is critically important for diabetic seniors who face a significantly elevated risk of arterial calcification as they age. Portion: 1 to 2 thumb-sized pieces, approximately 30 grams, before bed, alongside your cottage cheese or on its own if you're watching total calories. Cheese 3. Ricotta, the sleep secret. Nobody mentions. This next one surprises most people because ricotta feels like a breakfast food, something you put on toast or blend into dessert. But at night, with one small addition, ricotta does something for your blood sugar that nothing else on this list can do. And it works through a connection that no one in the diabetes space is talking about. Ricotta is higher in whey protein, which absorbs faster than casein. On its own at night, that would be less than ideal. But when you combine it with a small amount of healthy fat, a drizzle of olive oil, or a few almonds on the side, absorption slows significantly. This creates a two-phase protein delivery. The whey fraction delivers amino acids in the first 1 to 2 hours of sleep during the initial muscle repair window. The added fat extends that effect into the early morning hours. But here is what makes ricotta specifically valuable for seniors at night. Ricotta contains meaningful levels of tryptophan, the amino acid your body converts to serotonin and then to melatonin, your primary sleep hormone. And here's why that connection matters so much for blood sugar. Research published in Diabetes Care found that even a single night of poor sleep raises insulin resistance the following day by a measurable, clinically significant amount. Poor sleep raises cortisol. Elevated cortisol tells your liver to release more glucose. And for a senior already managing the dawn phenomenon, adding disrupted sleep on top of it compounds the problem in a very real way. Ricotta at night supports the sleep quality that supports the next morning's blood sugar. It's an indirect pathway, but it is a documented, real one. And it is something no other cheese on this list provides. How to use it at night. 4 tablespoons stirred with a pinch of cinnamon, which has its own well-documented insulin-sensitizing properties, a small drizzle of olive oil, and 4 or 5 walnuts on the side. 5 minutes. That is all it takes. I want to pause here for a second, because I know some of you watching this have been managing this for years, checking numbers every morning, adjusting, trying. And some mornings, even after doing everything right, the number still isn't what you hoped for. That experience is exhausting, and I want you to know we're about to talk about why and what to actually do about it. Don't go anywhere. Cheese 4. Aged Gouda, the most important cheese for seniors. And here it is, the one I promised you at the very beginning. This is the cheese that most diabetes channels have never heard of, and the one that, once you understand what's inside it, you'll wonder how you went this long without it. This is aged Gouda, and it is different from every other cheese on this list in ways that matter enormously for seniors specifically. Not young Gouda. Not the mild pale yellow rounds wrapped in red wax near the deli counter. I'm talking about aged Gouda, specifically aged 18 months or longer. It develops a harder, crystalline texture, a deep, almost caramel-like richness in flavor, and a nutritional profile that is genuinely unlike almost anything else most seniors have ever considered for blood sugar management. Here's why aged Gouda stands completely apart. It contains the highest concentration of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form of any common cheese available in grocery stores. Now, remember we talked about MK4 from aged cheddar. MK7 is different in a way that is specifically important for seniors. While MK4 remains active in your circulation for several hours, MK7 has a half-life of up to 72 hours. That means that eating aged Gouda 2 to 3 times per week creates a continuous, consistent level of K2 activity throughout your body, around the clock. You're not just getting a spike of K2 benefit on the days you eat it. You're building a sustained metabolic environment that continuously supports insulin secretion, continuously protects your arteries from calcification, and continuously activates the proteins that support vascular health. For a senior managing both blood sugar and cardiovascular risk, which is most people with type 2 diabetes, that sustained action of MK7 is not a marginal benefit. It's a documented, measurable one. But there's more. Aged Gouda contains higher levels of butyrate than younger cheeses, a short-chain fatty acid that directly supports the integrity of your gut lining, reduces the intestinal permeability that drives chronic systemic inflammation, and has direct action on gene expression in fat and liver cells that is linked to improved insulin sensitivity. And the detail that brings everything full circle, back to the muscle spiral we talked about at the beginning. Aged Gouda has one of the highest concentrations of leucine per gram of any common cheese. Leucine is the amino acid most directly responsible for activating the cellular pathway that triggers muscle protein synthesis. For a senior whose muscle mass is their primary long-term defense against worsening insulin resistance, a small portion of aged Gouda before bed is one of the most targeted nutritional choices you can make. Where to find it? Aged Gouda is available at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, specialty cheese counters, and the European import section of larger supermarkets. It costs slightly more than standard cheese, but a serving is small, a wedge lasts weeks, and what it delivers for the price is genuinely extraordinary. How to use it at night. 2 thin slices, 30 to 40 grams, as part of your pre-sleep snack, 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Paired with your cottage cheese, you now have a slow-release casein base for muscle protection, a leucine-rich MK7 source for insulin function, and a nighttime metabolic environment working simultaneously for your blood sugar and your muscles for the entire duration of your sleep. If this video is explaining something to you that nobody has explained before, I want you to do one thing right now. Share it. Send it to one person you know who has diabetes. One share. That's all. It could genuinely change how someone sleeps tonight. And it costs you nothing but 30 seconds. Your practical nighttime protocol. Let me make this completely simple. I don't want you leaving this video feeling like you need a degree to execute this. Here are 3 real options. Choose the one that fits your evening and start tonight. Option 1. The simple night. 5 minutes. 4 to 5 tablespoons of full-fat cottage cheese, 1 thumb-sized piece of aged cheddar, 4 to 5 walnuts. Eat 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Option 2. The complete night. 5 minutes. 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese mixed with 2 tablespoons of ricotta, a pinch of cinnamon, a small drizzle of olive oil, and 4 walnuts on the side. This adds the sleep-supporting tryptophan from the ricotta while maintaining the casein foundation of the cottage cheese. Option 3. The K2. Night use 3 nights per week. 2 thin slices of aged Gouda, 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese, 5 walnuts. This is your sustained K2 loading night. 3 times per week is enough to maintain MK7 levels throughout the full 7 days. What to avoid? Crackers, fruit, honey, jam, bread, anything with more than 5 grams of carbohydrate. The goal at night is 0 glycemic stimulus. The protein does the work. Carbohydrates interrupt it. Here's what I want you to do. And this is important. Tonight, before you start anything, check your fasting blood sugar tomorrow morning and write the number down. Do that for 7 days with no changes at all. Then begin the bedtime cheese protocol. Track your fasting morning glucose every single day for the next 2 weeks. I believe, based on what the research consistently shows, that most people following this protocol will see a measurable difference in their fasting morning blood sugar within 10 to 14 days. Not because I'm asking you to believe me, because you'll understand the mechanism well enough to watch it working for yourself. And when you see it, I want you to come back to this video and tell me your numbers in the comments, because those stories help other people watching this believe that it's possible for them too. Come back in 2 weeks and tell me what happened. I read those comments. I respond to them. Your result could be the thing that motivates someone else to finally start. Drop your starting number below right now if you're willing to do this challenge with me. I want to speak directly to you for a moment. If you have been managing diabetes for any length of time, you know that particular quiet feeling of doing everything right and still waking up to a number that tells you it wasn't enough. You took your medication. You watched what you ate. You went to bed carefully. You were careful. And still, that number, that experience is exhausting in a way that is very hard to explain to someone who hasn't lived it. It's not just physical. It wears on you emotionally. It makes you feel like your own body has become something you have to fight every single morning. I want you to hear me when I say this. Your body is not broken. It is responding to a process that has a name, a mechanism, and, as you now know, a solution that has been sitting in your refrigerator this entire time. You didn't know. You couldn't have known. Because no one told you. But you know now. What I've shared with you today is not a cure. I will never promise you that. But it is something real and actionable that your body can use tonight, while you sleep, to give you a slightly better number tomorrow morning, and then a slightly better number the morning after that, and over weeks and months. Those slightly better morning numbers become a changed A1C, a different conversation with your doctor, a different feeling when you put your feet on the floor in the morning. It starts with 4 tablespoons of cottage cheese and 2 thin slices of aged Gouda before bed. That is the beginning. Tell me in the comments right now, do you wake up with higher blood sugar than when you went to bed? How long has that been happening? Your answer matters, not just to me, but to the thousands of people watching this who feel exactly the same way and need to know they're not alone. Write it below. I will read it. And if this video gave you something you needed, please share it with one person. 1. That's all I ask. Someone in your life who checks their blood sugar every morning and wonders why it won't cooperate. This could be exactly what they've been looking for. If you're not yet subscribed, please do it now. Less than 1% of the people watching this are part of this community. If you're serious about understanding your body at this stage of life, with information that actually respects your age and your intelligence, this is where you belong. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself tonight. You deserve to wake up to a better number tomorrow.